Imagine yourself as a 100-year-old person. Imagine that at age 100, you feel great. You have no medical issues. Imagine at age 100, you're basically still doing the same things you're doing now, maybe more. That's actually possible with the right mental attitude. You know, I've talked to a lot of people about what they think about getting to be 100 years old. And you'd be surprised, a lot of people don't like the idea. They say, well, I'd have a lot of problems. I'd have boredom. I'd have sickness. I'd be a burden to my family. It's just not worth it. You should really just live life as it comes and enjoy the years you have left. In my opinion, those people are aging with the wrong mental attitude. I have an Aunt Peggy that totally disagrees with that line of thinking. I love Aunt Peggy because I've known her for a long time and she never seems to age. She worked at Macy's for 35 years, and at age 65, she retired. And she kind of came up with the idea of, instead of just sitting around, she was going to help people in her neighborhood. So she wound up delivering food to people and solving their problems, and she kind of became the angel of the neighborhood. That was her mission. In fact, at age 90, she was the only person in her neighborhood that she knew that was still driving a car. So she wound up driving people to the doctor and driving people to the grocery store. You know, that was her mission, to help out. Well, last year, Aunt Peggy turned age 100. And her relatives in New York decided to throw her a 100-year-old birthday party. Now, Aunt Peggy lives in Detroit. So she got on a plane in Detroit, flew to LaGuardia, went to the party, stayed there a couple days with relatives, went back to LaGuardia, flew back to Detroit. And I think she doesn't know this, but she probably was the only 100-year-old on any of those airplanes. But Aunt Peggy has the right mental attitude. So let's talk a little bit about how long could you live? Medical researchers believe that if everything was perfect, you could theoretically live to an age of 120. And there have been people that have lived to age 120. In fact, the oldest person was a gal in France that lived to an age of 122. But you know, everybody doesn't age the same. And I've asked around about that. I said, why do you think that is? And usually the answer I get is, well, it's in your genes. If you have relatives that have lived a really long time, then you can probably live a really long time. That's not exactly true. Genes are important, but they really only count for 20 to 30% of your ability to live a long life. If you think about the mathematics, that means that 70 to 80% is up to you. It's how you live your life. It's your lifestyle. And you can make changes in this lifestyle pretty much at any time, even in your 70s and in your 80s. So the key is, using Aunt Peggy as an example, the key is mental attitude. You want to create a mental picture of what you would like your life to be like, let's say at age 100, and then develop a plan as to what you have to do to make that happen. You don't want to just become powerless in your older years and have life just kind of pass you by. You can be in control of your longevity with the right mental attitude.